Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk to you about 3-starring Tier 12 of the Training Day 3 times a week challenge. It'll be here on Friday and Sunday, so if you want to take a shot at it, I'll show you how I was able to do it this last week. And it seemed to help some of the folks in my personal alliance, so I'd like to share it with everyone else on the channel. So first, talk about who's on the team. We've got Invisible Woman. So they're a serious team to get to the top tier. I'll just be honest with you. I have gear tier 14, which is high as it goes for Invisible Woman. Also recently have upgraded Hella to the highest gear tier, and she's really fun to play with. I did that in advance of the Black Bolt event. I don't need Black Bolt for this. In fact, he's probably too slow. You really need Captain Marvel. So I've got Captain Marvel at tier 13, which is the second highest, because I don't have enough biomats to do all the projects that I want. The remaining 2, so Minerva's great to keep everyone alive and res and healing as you go. And Star-Lord turned out to be really useful in helping both Invisible Woman and Minerva get a few more things off, and he takes a hit kind of well. So I was finally able to do this when I was able to position him at the middle. So let's talk about positioning next. We'll let the team load in for a second. Pause this guy. I put Star-Lord in the middle, Hela on one side, Captain Marvel on the other side, and then Invisible Woman between Star-Lord and Captain Marvel, and Minerva between Star-Lord and Hela. And you'll notice right at the beginning something important happens. I don't know if it's positioning related, but it happened for me, and it's happened for a couple others who tried it like me. When the first thing that you will see Mystique do, obviously she calls in her ultimate ability, which causes one of the team members on your team to attack another team member. That's really dangerous at the beginning. But in this layout, and with enough RNG, hopefully, the layout seems to help a lot, but with RNG, Greg, or Hela's minion, attacks someone, and they're usually attacking the person in the middle, and I was losing a lot when I had Minerva in the middle. So when I put Star-Lord in the middle, he could take a hit a little bit better, and Greg hitting Star-Lord is nothing. So it works out pretty well. Here, let's go ahead and start the game tape a bit more. I do have it at a fast speed. It still takes a while to beat it all, but you see, I do let Greg come after the first target, and to take out is Mr. Sinister, because if you let him go too long, not just his clone, but his healing and everything else just turns into a mess. So I go after him with Greg. Next I go after him with Captain Marvel, and I follow up. Here he goes, right here. So when Mystique jumps in, she goes after Star-Lord, and Greg is coming to hit him, and he just doesn't hit very hard. Now I'll use Star-Lord to finish off Sinister with his ultimate. Well, nearly. Actually, Hela finishes the job, but it took 4 hits. It took Greg, which is again Hela's spawn, Captain Marvel's ultimate, which is a serious hit, Star-Lord's ultimate, which is a serious hit, and then Hela's ultimate, which is a serious hit. But at least Sinister's gone right here at the beginning. This point forward, it does stabilize a bit. You know, we want to stay stable. I'm going to hit Psylocke, because if she has a bleed on her, it will take effect before she can throw that back on your own team. See that bleed? She did have to eat it. She tried to hit. Wait, there's another thing that just happened there. So I also used Invisible Woman's special first round, and this is another key tip for dealing with Psylocke. So using Invisible Woman's special gives her immunity. Well, the first thing that Psylocke's going to do is use her ultimate to take all the negative effects on the other team and bring it to your team. Well, if she brings all those negative effects and tries to slam that onto Invisible Woman, who has immunity, does nothing. You'll see that a little later too, when I stack a bunch of negative effects, and I'm worried about it coming back at the team. So I throw up Invisible Woman, let Psylocke bring it back, because obviously, whenever you kill one Psylocke, later you'll have another one. That's just the fox next way. Yep, from this point on, so I used the basic of Star-Lord there instead of casting blinds, because I really want the splash damage and moving over from Juggernaut and hitting Mystique so that I can clean that out. she's not fun to keep around. Next, I will use this to help finish off Colossus. Obviously applying bleeds to Mystique is a non-starter, but here we go. Hela's basic, where it'll hit someone else off the tank, is super helpful. I do start, but at this point I haven't even used Invisible Woman's until now, her ultimate until now, to get all that barrier up, and it sure does help in sustainability and being able to continue through the fight. Now obviously I am stuck behind the brick wall of Colossus, and I'm blinded now. So just gotta hold on a little bit. That barrier that's currently on my team helps a lot while I'm just sitting here taking hits. I want to take out Psylocke. I always want to take out Psylocke. I always want to get Mystique down. Can't always get my way. Yeah, see, Hela's still blinded. But now all my blinds, except for Captain Marvel, are clear, and they hit Greg again. So Greg is an absolute awesome. I do this. I got a crit. Even though no bleed, I was able to take out Mystique. So, there's a lot of RNG involved, but it works. All right. There's a lot of critical targets on the table right now. I'm really more concerned about Sabretooth and all the bleeds he puts across the team, so that's why I blind him. Stop the bleeds before they can happen. I also try to focus on where I want my Disrupted to go, so getting that onto Strife to keep him from being able to taunt up too much and ruining my day is important. Here we go again, clean out those heal blocks. Also not letting Magneto get away with anything with his special. Yep. And then go after him. This team has got significant damage with Hela, Star-Lord, and Captain Marvel, and then sustainability comes from both Invisible Woman, her barrier, and anti-taunt, and Minerva's constant hits here. So now I'm starting to get concerned again. Like, they got a lot of DPS on the field. Mordo's always a pain, and they also have solid tanks in Colossus and Juggernaut. But just keep hammering away at it. They keep hammering away at Greg, so he is very helpful here. I want to put all these bleeds that are currently on Sabretooth on the whole team. That is of super help. Taking out Cyclops before he can get to his ultimate is important, so that Captain Marvel ultimate is well timed. Now I have to deal with that scenario I was talking about before. So there are a lot of bleeds that are happening across the other team and offense down. So the first thing that Psylocke is going to try to do is pull all those negative effects and apply it to one person on my team. I'd like to apply that to Invisible Woman. In the meantime, I do work hard at taking down Colossus. So I go ahead and blind. I did get lucky there, and Sabretooth is again blinded, so that I don't have to be concerned about his chain attacks. Yep. Colossus didn't have defense up, so I was able to apply more negative status effects to him, and thankfully, Psylocke remained slow. Hela's basic is still clutch there. We hit one, and he can bounce off. Yep. Here goes Star-Lord with his defense, and now I've got my immunity up on Invisible Woman, and Psylocke is going to take those negative effects and apply them to nothing. Clean up from here is not too scary, especially helpful to heal block Mordo, because he'll constantly heal himself if someone dies. And we will keep this up. Yeah, just have to pick my targets on who I want to kill first. Is there any use for my disrupt? Not really on that team. This team doesn't buff itself much, other than Sabretooth once he gets his health down. I try more just to take them out before they're able to use their abilities, and worry about the blinds a little later, because when you use blind on a Heimdall, it doesn't work out very well. Yeah, but this is how you can follow it through. The folks in my alliance just say, hey, if you need it, you can mute me. Just mute me, and then click through it and see if there's any tips, or as you go, you can have your game in one window, have this in another window, just like pause, play. If this helps you at all, that's the whole point of this channel, is just to be of some service and help to my fellow gamers. And goodbye, Wolverine. Last man standing. Take care, and I hope you have a great day. Good luck 3-starring this one as soon as you can.